Hello, I'm Carol, your host today, and Steve's here with us, and maybe we'll have some more toggling on here in a minute. Hi, Charlie. Hi, Seventh Son. How y'all doing? So, interestingly enough, at my meeting last night, the in-person meeting, smart meeting, um, they handed out a worksheet that's going over the same exact thing tools that I am going to be going over in the handbook. It's right where we are, where we ended up today. And I will be reading from the Smart Recovery Handbook.
Hey,
Steve-O.
Steve-O.
Okay. Let's see. I want to kind of where we ended up last because it's good stuff and bears repeating.
Yeah.
All right. Hey there. Okay, here we go.
I'm doing this on my phone, and hi, Chris.
Hi.
Hey.
Hi, Candy.
Hey. You're a
I
shadow.
don't know how to get on.
Face,
I don't know how to get on chat in this, so.
So are we saying I need my ring light? That was what I was going to ask you.
Oh, yeah, I'd say you do.
The behind scenes light's
Hi,
not
Megan.
good enough.
Hi, Southern.
Everybody close your eyes.
Hi, Megan.
It's about to be bright.
Hi, Tammy.
Hi, you guys. Hi, Megan. Hi, Tammy. That's great. There she is.
Bigger.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Am I too bright? Do I need to go down a little more?
It's up to you. It looks good.
No,
How does it look to everybody else?
I think you're good.
Yeah. There's
Fine.
a little bit of reflection in the glasses, but the light level is good.
You're
What
good.
glasses? Whoa, can't see you guys, but hi.
Oh, well, we don't need that. You can have your glasses. It's up to you. People complain
I know
about
you
rings.
can see the
ring
rings,
lights.
huh?
Yeah, you can, but
You're
it
good.
doesn't bother me. I don't know
Literally,
why.
the moment I took the glasses off, you guys went from I'm looking at you, and then you guys went just like this.
I'm feeling better today, Sandy or Tammy, but just a little sore. I can't get into chat on my phone for some reason, so I'm not ignoring anyone in chat tonight, okay?
How was your night, Steve?
I got up to a room at 9:30, so I got real lucky.
God.
Oh, thank goodness. Were you able to rest?
No, I was wired. I felt like I was tweaking.
It's really hard to
that
rest.
was the last message I got from you.
Yeah.
Megan says, Steve, you're in our thoughts.
I can see the chat. I just can't chat.
Oh, okay. I gotcha.
Thank you, you guys. It all means really a lot to me. But I'm not going to miss this. I've committed to this, and you all are stuck with me.
Nice.
No, brother, you're stuck with me. I gave you a message this morning, and I meant it. If you go, I'm going with you. So,
all right,
we're in this together, babe.
All right. So I am going to start reading from the handbook, y'all. And I'm going to repeat where we kind of left off last night about, setting up yourself to be able to resist the urges, recognizing the triggers and what to do. And then, if you find yourself in a social situation or any situation where somebody insists that you use or drink, the 4 things that they recommend: make eye contact. It shows you're serious. Speak in a firm, unhesitating voice. Don't feel guilty. You have the right not to use. After you say no, change the subject. You only have to say no once. And then, so we've got a strategy here, and I'm going to bring up a worksheet, I hope. Let's see. Here we go. All right. And this is defeat urges with DEADS. You can knock down urges. Is it there? Yeah, it's there. You can knock down urges, DEADS. This is an easy way to remember strategies when faced with an urge. Urges can muddy your cognitive abilities, making it hard to think clearly. DEADS can help you think clearly about how to deal with the urge, no matter how intense. D, deny/delay. Don't give in to the urge. Remind yourself repeatedly if necessary, this urge will pass. Refuse to give in to it no matter what. E, escape the trigger. If you know what is causing the urge, leave or get away from it immediately. Escape the trigger. A, avoid the trigger. You can keep track of when you get urges using the urge log, figure 4.4, and I'm going to bring that up real quick. And if I have not put it on the Facebook page, I'll need to put it on tonight.
You shut that door for me, please. Thank you, sir.
Right. And there's the, this is the urges log worksheet. And I'll be posting that on the Facebook page. Maybe the YouTube community page. I'm not sure yet. It's hard to get you have to use a perfectly square picture to get everything in there. So I don't know if I'll do that yet. All right, we'll get that one down. And so we're on A.
Better on my tablet.
Right on. Okay. I think we're still on the first one. Share. There we go. Avoid the trigger. You can keep track of when you get urges by using the urge log, figure 4.4, the one that I just put up. Urges can occur routinely as part of your daily pattern. If you know you will be in a situation that triggers an urge, plan to avoid the situation. The earlier in your recovery that you identify high-risk stimuli that trigger urges, the earlier you can avoid these situations or escape when unexpectedly faced with them. Also, attack the urge. Is that on there? Let's see if it is. That may not be. Avoid.
Best defense is a good offense.
Yeah, indeed. Let's see. I don't know if this will have the second part of the nope, it doesn't. Anyway, attack the urge, dispute the irrational beliefs, DIBs on and obsessive thoughts, or do an ABC. Lord, I've already forgot all those acronyms. Practice relaxation or meditation. Accept the urge. So that's 3 A's in a row here. Accept the urge. Tell yourself the urge will pass soon, and that if you don't give in to it, the next urge will be less intense, and they will become less frequent. You may want to sit quietly by yourself to surf the urge, riding the wave. Feel it build and then fade while you acknowledge your thoughts and feelings about the urge, the present, and your future. Yep.
I lost you.
The next urge will be less intense, and they will become less frequent. You may want to sit quietly by yourself to surf the urge. Feel it build and then fade while you acknowledge your thoughts and feelings about the urge, the present, and your future. Remember, don't turn the urge into a bigger issue by pretending it doesn't exist. Now we're on the D here. Distract yourself with an activity. Do something. Go for a walk, read a book, or watch TV. If you're putting your mind on something else, then it can't focus on the urge. Simple activities such as counting objects or saying the alphabet backwards also can fill up your attention. Do something even if you don't want to. Clean the fridge, walk the dog. Motivation may follow action. And then finally on S, substitute for addictive thinking. Send in healthy substitute thoughts to squeeze out the urge. Replace the irrational belief as example, this urge will kill me, with a rational one. Example, this urge is bad, but it won't kill me and it will pass. Substitute feeling down and alone by going to the gym or stopping by the SROL, the chat room in Smart. And we will leave off there. Get this off.
In my case, giving into if I had the urge, giving into it just might kill me. So that's not an option.
Right. Yeah.
And the other thing I wanted to add to with the distraction was get a hold of one of you or someone you completely trust that would never ever put you in a situation in a situation where you had to feel like you had to use to placate somebody.
Yes.
The people in my
100%.
tribe would never do that.
That's
No,
right.
we would not.
That's right. This worksheet that we got at the meeting last night does the DEADS tool, coping with urges. If you can see that or not. But it also it was a discussion on triggers and urges. Triggers are things that lead to cravings, I want to, which can lead to urges, which are I need to. Each of us has our own emotions, events, people, a place, a time of day, a sensation, not excuses, not unpredictable, and it can be unlearned. Urges. Urges press our minds to repeat the behavior from which we are trying to abstain. Psychological versus physiological, even though physically or emotionally uncomfortable. Knowledge and forethought are our best defenses. Over time, they tend to dissipate and or disappear. Unless everything comes online all at once when you've been in a not so alert state of being. Somebody went to TJ Maxx. Yeah, that was you, right?
I got my cut.
Can everybody hear me?
What's that?
Oh,
Where I got my cut. Yeah.
That's her witch's brew.
I tell you what, I think my husband has strategically placed me where my only choices to shop are at Dollar General or Dollar Tree. Because the closest Target to me is 45 minutes away, and the TJ Maxx is in that shopping center. Then the closest mall to me is an hour south.
Oh.
I have a Walmart, but we're not even going to get started with them just because we're not. That kind of language is not allowed on YouTube.
Well, I have a great distraction coming up from I'm getting ready to redo my bass guitar.
Girl. Now you're talking my language.
And I'm going to be this is a I don't know if you can see that. This is a behind the pick guard there is a stain.
Is that the green you showed us?
Huh?
Is that the green one you showed us?
Yeah. And I've been playing around with mica to add to the varnishes and everything, and I'm getting excited about that. And I talked to a friend of mine who does woodworking, who may be able to cut me out a new pick guard that just a little nicer wood grain so I can stain. I actually stripped down that pick guard when I first got it, and I couldn't get a warm enough color.
Are you going to do it? Are you going to take the neck off, or are you going to leave it on?
I'm going to have to take the neck off.
Okay.
Yeah.
As somebody who knows nothing about guitars, isn't that tricky to do?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure it is going to be tricky, but I've been doing a lot of practicing on wood. And
my father was the guitarsman in the family. I never learned a damn thing about it, except they were really pretty.
Plus, you live with the handiest dude I know, so.
Indeed.
Well, let's all pray now that there's not a neck repair in the future.
I just buy mine.
No.
I want him.
Yeah.
Can I get back to something serious about urges?
Yeah.
I still want to see the guitar, but I wanted to spit this out before I forget it because I'm on a lot of stuff that I wasn't on 2 days ago, and if I start not making sense, you guys let me know, okay?
Right on. No.
If
We might just let you roll with it because you need to laugh, my friend. That's gonna help this all out.
yeah. Um, if you're dealing with somebody like you're in the position of sponsor or in your five or whatever you want to call it, what you need to try to glean from them is if they've already decided to use or not. And if they've already decided they're going to, there's probably not a whole lot you can do for them that day, but start over fresh after they have, if they do.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
because I more often than not, when I said I'm drinking tonight, no amount of talking from Vicky or anybody else would have gotten me to stop.
Okay.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's addiction.
Now, I was very spiteful in that way. When I decided I was going to use, the Pope himself, Jesus and God could have come down and begged me, and I would have been like, F you, and your mama, bye.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a very selfish
If
thing.
somebody's
That's kind of
already
harsh.
decision, Steve, you're very right. There's not a whole lot you're going to do to tell them not to do it because it's already there. They're going to do it.
Yeah. That's
Well,
true.
okay, show me the guitar now because I cut that off, that's mine and your thing in common.
To take the neck off, all
Oh
you have
yeah.
to do is take this plate off with these 4 screws, and it'll come right off.
Do you have a neck rod, or do basses even have those?
I will have to tell you that when I get there. I've not taken this off ever, so I don't know.
So if it had one, it would be inside of it,
Yes.
Yeah.
almost like a weighted baseball bat.
No.
I have
No,
no
it's
idea.
not weighted. It's for tight. It's for adjusting minuscule amounts of the angle on your neck to affect the playability of it.
When I take the plate off, I'll probably be able to see if there is that.
Yes, absolutely, you will. And there usually isn't a plate unless there is one. So.
Right. Okay.
What is
it
just glued in?
No, it's screwed in, really. These are long old screws.
Right, but if it didn't have one of those, what would the neck be just glued to?
No, I don't think so. I
feel so ignorant right now. It's not even funny.
No, don't feel ignorant. It's glue wouldn't be heavy enough with the way you have to go up and down the fretboard and the way you play. It's got to be screwed in. So it's 2 separate parts: the body, which is the bottom, and then the neck, which is the top. So it's got to be screwed in.
Yeah.
And
now you guys know how I felt talking about being a survivor. That this is something I know.
Yeah. Yeah.
There you go. Yes.
Just for Christy and Candy's sake, I am having beans and rice for dinner.
And you know what? Rice and beans are not a meal.
No, that's why I said. But actually, these have a little bit of salsa in them, and it's really good.
Okay, that's Mexican food. That's a little better than rice and beans. You know, I had people coming at me about making that joke, and I made it to Liz herself. She made it back. And somebody comes at me and they're like, Candy, I would like you to know that nutritionally rice and beans is a complete meal. I'm like, oh dear Lord, what have I started?
No, it's not. It's a double starch.
Yes and no.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
beans are protein. They're
Yeah,
simple.
they call it a complete protein when you mix the two together, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yes.
All I
Hey,
know is it added extra calories to my Mexican food meal every time I got it.
hey, Steve, I don't know if I know. Would you mind telling us the story of how you quit drinking? Would you mind doing that?
Um,
You don't have to do it today, but at some point,
no,
I
I can do it. I can do it in like, I can do a short version in like 3 minutes.
okay.
I went down to uh, the Christian rehab center, made an excuse to leave, and left. I was sober for 9 months after that, and then drunk 2.5 years after that. And that's when I got up to over 400 pounds. And I walked into the bathroom to do what men do during the night, to do the, to vacate your bladder. And I looked in the mirror and I said, "Good God, who is that?" And when did it be okay to look like this? And I thought, I am not a good role model to my sons. And I woke Vicky up out of a dead sleep, and I said, "I'm ready to go." And she said she didn't out of a dead sleep. She said, "When do you want to leave?" And that's the short version of it.
When you say you went to a church thing, you went and decided not to stay, or you stayed and then relapsed afterwards?
No, I stayed and made an excuse to leave because I didn't want to be there.
Okay. And then you were drinking again for another 9 months after
No,
that?
I was sober for 9 months, and then I started drinking.
And how long did you drink that after the 9 months?
2.5 years.
Okay.
And then in 2009, I went back and got it right. No
Right
problem,
on.
Megan.
What prompted the initial going to the church thing to begin with?
Because they brought it from another local church to our church, and my mentor, the one who paid for my rehab, $1,200 a month,
Back, I'm listening.
Ooh.
and uh, who passed on from a some kind of cardiac embolism. I'm not sure what, but he went in his sleep. The lucky son of a gun. But I miss him. I love him. He was like a big brother to me. He was a millionaire. You wouldn't have known it by talking to him. And he did things under the radar, like he bought kids coats and toys for stuff for Christmas, and he had me once help him, well, more than once. But one time he said to me, "If you ever tell anybody I'm doing this, I will kill you." Because he just did not want the recognition for it. He just wanted to be a blessing.
Right on.
And that's and him pushing me. He saw something in me that I didn't see in myself, and him pushing me to go back is what really was the impetus for I've seen enough.
Okay.
So, what triggered you to start drinking after being sober for 9 months?
The fact that I was gripping the steering wheel for 9 months and white knuckling it, and putting on the face and doing the dance and trying to please other people.
Yeah. Which is not a good, healthy start to recovery. Now, on your 7 months of rehab, would you say that it's actual rehab, or is it reconditioning, or what would you say?
It was a discipleship program,
Okay.
as well as an addiction and trauma, and there was everything from we even had one guy in the house that was a registered child sex offender. And I mean, so it dealt with everything. And it was more of a discipleship program.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't, and it was big because they had big graduations in front of 400 or 500 people in the church, and they made a really big deal out of it.
Right
Mhm.
on.
That's
Was
good.
7 months the norm for what you were doing, that program that you were doing?
The program, yes,
Oh,
I know that's quite long for most programs, but
yeah.
for this, it was right about the average.
Did you get to see your family much during that 7 months?
Twice.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Why don't they let family be a part of it after a certain point?
444-mile drive.
Oh, okay.
400. I'm sorry, 424-mile drive.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and just getting time off work and having the money for gas and
yeah,
hotels and.
right.
But I hated when they came because it was just like in the movies. My son would be looking out the back window as they were driving away, and it just ripped me apart.
Of
And
course.
I said, I am never drinking again.
Yeah, yeah. Has before all the health issues started, was it pretty easy to stick to it? It's at a certain point.
No, I didn't. The light bulb didn't go on for me until like 5 months in.
Okay.
And I had someone that I was very close to sit me down and say, you need to make a decision because you're doing the dance and you're acting right now. And he was dead right. I was.
Yeah. How long did it take you to decide that you were going to go ahead and do it for real?
That one conversation.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool.
That's nice.
Uh, what about after you got out? Was it
Had a
hard?
lot of support. My
Okay.
family were as supportive as you can be. My mother-in-law's never smoked a cigarette or taken a drink in her life, but she was so supportive. And then I had Friday night meetings at church from 7 to 9, and normal people, they get paid on Friday, and from 7 to 9, what are they getting ready to go out to do?
Mm-hmm.
Kick a few back.
Yep. So that's why the meetings were designed for that time.
Got it.
Wow.
And they were meetings from the program that you went through.
Yes. And then
Okay.
had you could break it off into a local ministry into your church. This was centered in Rockford, Illinois, but there were at one time 2,000 chapters.
Oh,
Okay. And it doesn't exist anymore, that program that you went through?
Oh, we had a little scandal from the pulpit.
Oh.
Mhm.
For the program or just for your church's
The church,
involvement?
no, well, the the church that started it had a program, a problem from the pulpit, and that led to 3/4 of the church leaving, and the program just dying out.
That's unfortunate.
It is. Especially if it
But
worked for you.
it
Yeah.
saved my life. No,
So
no
did,
doubt in my mind.
so did you find that the mix of religion and the like the rehab part of it is what was helpful for you, both of it? So it incorporated jointly into your life, since that's an important part of your life, your faith?
Absolutely, and I know a lot of people aren't going to agree with me with this, but we journaled every morning. We got up and did devotions at
Yeah.
like 6 o'clock, and we worked till like 10 o'clock at night. I mean, it sounds a whole lot like the Sea Org, but which is why I'm doing beans and rice today in honor of that. Um, but it was basically Bible boot camp, and then reaching the underlying causes of why you feel your addiction was so important in your life.
Okay.
So did
And
you
I
Was
know
that
I'm not doing it justice by this explanation by any means.
was
It
that
was really
that part of it that was that eye opening? Diving
what
into diving into what it was that
the root?
drove you. Yeah.
yeah. I uh, it was, but it helped me figure out that there was never just one thing or one trigger. I started out in high school at the jock parties, drinking beer, got out of high school, drank a little more beer, worked as a bouncer, and then went into the army. I know you guys can't see me as a bouncer, but I was actually a very good one. Um,
Yeah.
uh, and then the army does great job at training alcoholics. And by the time I was out of the army and had broken up with my, at that time, fiance, I met my wife and my whole life changed.
That's good.
You guys are going to get a kick out of her on Sunday.
Right on. How long do you have to be in there where you're at now, the hospital?
The earliest I'm going to be out is Friday.
Okay.
Mhm.
Well, keep us posted on whether you're truly up for it and all that good stuff.
No, I feel good today.
Right on.
I feel good today.
That's
They've got me on.
here.
They've got me on 2 wide spectrum antibiotic drips, and that's that beeping right there.
Okay.
This one's flowing faster than the other, and it's
Oh.
just really temperamental.
Candy, how about you? What motivated you to finally get into the first day of your 5 years where you are now?
What was the catalyst? The catalyst was
Yeah, what was what made you decide this is it, I got to do this?
a doctor looking at me telling me that I never would.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
The last thing you want to tell me is I can't or won't do something. Because if I can and want to, I will.
Yeah, that's I'm
I've
married
always
to.
been spiteful like that ever since I was a kid. If I can do it and I want to do it, I'm gonna do it.
I mean, and it really is that simple, even with urges. Even though something in you is triggered, and that trigger usually sends you to the bottle or to whatever substance or activity is your choice. What was I saying? I just lost what.
Making
All I
up your
did was
mind,
just
making up your mind, and
thought I
somebody
had
telling you no,
some
you
help
can't
with
do
Yeah.
it,
it.
so it wasn't
Right.
as intense. But
Yeah.
I still had all the urges and cravings in early recovery that everybody does, whether they utilize medication assisted therapy or not.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that's what I like to make clear to people is Suboxone is a tool in your
Yeah.
recovery toolbox.
Yeah.
It's not the end all be all answer to everything.
No.
And you
What
have
is
to think of
Suboxone?
it that way.
5
Would it
weeks ago, when I
would it
came in with my bad situation, there was a guy that OD'd on Suboxone in the ER with me at the same time.
would it be fair to say that Suboxone is kind of an equalizer, giving you a chance to get your footing? Would that be
Very much so.
fair to
Very
say?
much so.
Right on.
What is Suboxone? I don't mean to sound ridiculous, but
It's
what is that?
buprenorphine, which is the active ingredient, and naloxone, which is, have you heard of Narcan, Christy?
Okay, Narcan. Now you said something I understand.
Narcan is called naloxone. I'm gonna help out. Give me a second.
Okay.
Always have it the ready. Okay. Can everybody see
Can
it?
I just throw this out there? Please
Yeah.
wear your hair normal, Christy. I like it so much better.
I like to change it up, but I do. You know, it's taken a lot to grow this
And,
out.
and
Anyway,
it's much more Hobbit-like.
you said
It's
this.
cute.
Thank you. So you
It
keep
is.
Narcan
It,
on you?
It's
So
not a bad
anyway,
idea for all of us to do that because you never
Yeah.
know.
So how do you get Narcan? Is it a prescription? Do you just go buy
I
it?
can get this one I got from because I'm a peer recovery coach, so the company I work with
Oh,
hands them out to me.
okay. Okay.
But I do get, because I'm a Suboxone patient, I do get one of these every month, and it's
So
a
that's
pack of
cost.
2.
Uh-huh.
I don't mind busting them open to teach people. Trust me.
So Suboxone can cause you to OD and need Narcan?
Well,
no, I was just saying that one guy took way too much Suboxone and did OT. But it's meant to be a step down from whatever you're stepping down from.
So it doesn't
you
help
can
you
have
quit
a
drinking.
toxic reaction if you take too much buprenorphine. But this is the other half of what is in my Suboxone.
Okay.
Okay.
So it's buprenorphine, which is the active ingredient, and then the naloxone, which is the opioid blocker, basically. So this is what they use when you overdose.
From having the effect that you seek it for, then is that what it does?
This basically, if you're in the middle of an opiate overdose, this will flood the same receptors and drive the opiates out.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
That's how it
Yeah.
saves you.
Okay.
Yes.
So that I knew. So I'm still confused about why. So what were you doing that you needed Suboxone that it stepped down from? Like I'm sorry, I'm trying to understand.
Heroin.
So like you were doing something that, oh, okay. So
Large
okay.
amounts of heroin that would probably have put a horse down by the time I was finally done messing around.
Okay. I guess I didn't know what your substance of choice was. Okay.
I'm also in
now.
what they call a taper, and I started off at 2 8-milligram pills a day. I'm down to 1, so
Okay.
basically that's half of my dose. And
Right.
right now 8's working beautifully. I can go down to 6 if I want to, but that's all up to me. I just can't go below that without my doctor agreeing to it.
Okay.
Okay.
What is the normal time period for what is the parameters of the
That's
normal
the beautiful
Suboxone?
thing about Suboxone is it is different for each and every person that takes it.
Okay.
Like me, I don't, in 5 more years, I don't want to see myself on anything more than maybe 2 milligrams at the most. Now, if I can get down below that to 0, great. But there are some people that are on a relatively, I call it a modest dose, that have been on it for 20 years.
Really? I didn't even
Can
know.
I ask?
And believe it or not, in the UK, buprenorphine is the number 1 choice in pain management.
Okay.
Opiates are their last choice.
Okay.
Unlike when you go into RERs and you've snapped your leg off and you're carrying it in and they're, oh, let me give you some oxy, let me give you some this, let me give you some fentanyl, let me jab you with the morphine. No.
I got 2 out of the 3 of those in the last 24 hours.
Yes,
Really?
but you needed it. That's a little different. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And morphine is such a dirty, nasty feeling.
It's disgusting to withdraw from, too. I'll tell you that. I thought
Tommy called me yesterday.
Morphine
Mhm.
showed me its ugly head quick.
Tommy called me yesterday, and we didn't talk about this, but he talked about before on one of his shows. Suboxone is actually a form of currency in the joint.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Right now, they're valued at either a strip or a pill, 8 milligram pill, because they come in 2s, 4s, and 8s. Strips come up to 12 milligrams, but a strip or a pill of 8 milligrams or better, worth $100 in the joint. $100.
Hmm.
Wow.
And they openly trade medications like that as their currency. He's not
So
lying.
they won't administer Suboxone in prison, I assume.
Oh, you can get it, but I don't think they don't
You gotta-
watch you closely enough, because the minute I'm on the pill form and I've also been on the strip form, and with either one, the minute you touch that to saliva, it starts to disintegrate.
You have to, in your intake evaluation, you have to say, hey, I'm an addict and I'm going to need Suboxone. Or else you just can't come up after the
Right, you
fact
can't,
and say it.
after you've been there for 3 years, automatically go, I'm an addict, I need Suboxone. Well,
Yeah, you've got to take care of it all up front.
And we have some of the county jails in Maine now are starting to utilize Suboxone, but for the longest time, if you went to jail, basically you were on your own, and the med staff would come in once a day to make sure you were still breathing.
Wow.
Steve, I'm so glad you're here and helping us educate ourselves on this.
Yeah. Federal pens are just starting to allow you to be on. It depends on what state. Well, if it's a federal pen, why does the state determine? I wonder. That doesn't seem to make
He
sense.
means it depends on what state the federal prison is in.
Well, I understand that part of it, but it doesn't make sense.
But you would think federal trump state, wouldn't you?
You would. I mean,
Well, I mean, okay, so look at marijuana usage. Like, it's federally, a class 1 narcotic or schedule 1 or whatever, but it's legal in the states. So federally, it's still illegal, but in states like Colorado, Washington, Nevada, you can sell it. Michigan, Alaska,
Maine.
So maybe it's that kind of a thing where,
Yeah.
federally it's up to here, but the federal government is choosing to allow the states to manage it however they want.
Megan agrees with us.
yeah.
Did I explain that right? Does that make sense?
Yes, you did.
Yes, you did.
In Colorado, again, there's dispensaries everywhere, and I'm not trying to trigger anybody. I'm sorry, but
No, federal government just
illegal.
the federal government just whipped out and said we're going to leave it up to the states.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Megan.
Okay. Is that for prison only, or does that vary for the general pop for everybody that's not in jail as well? Seventh Son, the state to state will allow or will not allow. Is that, or is it legal in every state if you're not in prison? Canada is legal, period, but each province had their ways of how they went around it. Okay, in terms of cannabis. Okay.
That's pretty much how Maine is too. Like, each town governs their own policy on how many dispensaries can be in an area, blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
Well, Gizmo came to say hi. Say hi, Gizmo.
Hi, Gizmo.
Oh.
That's a lie. That's the only reason he loves his mother right now. Ain't it?
No.
Megan, you're doing just fine. And who did you guys say was in here? I didn't see that one.
Seventh Son, Megan.
Steve.
And, let's see.
Tammy C is in. She said she's cooking, but she's listening.
Or cooking, yeah.
Okay. I thought she said Gizmo or somebody.
Oh, my cat.
Oh, yeah.
Oh. Well, if he's on, you're a millionaire if you got a cat that's on chat.
sitting right beside me, my co-pilot, and crying here.
Um, uh, what I was curious about is an overwhelming feeling of vulnerability or some kind of memory or trigger. Is that an urge? Is that an urge for like survivors or?
Depends on, I mean,
I don't know if I'm asking it right.
If you're asking like if certain triggers as far as trauma triggers, like for instance, when I was being
Yes.
by my brother. Well, I mean, obviously I wasn't drinking and using when that was happening. So not so
But
much.
if you allow your mind to go to that place, if you don't catch it with your mantra or with your, whatever, and it slips through and you have an anxiety attack about it, is that an urge for you?
Not for me personally.
Okay.
No. It might be for other people because maybe they were in active addiction when that was occurring. I have I go to other unhealthy places, but not there.
So that's not the main reason why you were an addict is because you had other factors involved.
I'm sure that that trauma was in the mix, but I always considered myself just a social drinker and a social user. And
I was going to say social butterfly, but you.
Hey, no worries, Christy.
I started out as a social drinker and user. Then I just became a very stingy, selfish one.
Yeah. I started at 16, so I was indoctrinated early.
I'm not too far behind that. I was.
I started drinking and using because it was fun.
Yeah, me too.
I did it because my friends were doing it. That's what we did. We'd go to the liquor store, tell the guy behind the counter it was for our mothers or whatever. They'd put it in the back. We'd go drink in the park with the homeless folk. We were doing civic duty, is what I told people. We were ministering to the alcoholics. We just lowered ourselves to their level. Do you see why my grandparents had such a hard time? I couldn't imagine it.
Yeah, alcohol near
of how easy it is to get. Yes.
Yeah.
It's so ingrained in the
back when I was a kid, we could literally walk into any liquor store in the city I lived in California, tell the guy behind the counter it was for our mother. They'd go get it, bag it up. We'd give them the money and walk out of there.
Yeah, we'd pay $20 for a 12-pack, but because they're taking advantage of, they know kids are buying it and they're not going to get it anywhere else.
Wow.
I'm assuming they would get in very, very big trouble if they.
Oh, yeah. Oh, they got shut down.
Your store would be shut down before the end of the business day.
Yeah, I agree with that, Megan. It is strange, and of course here in Arkansas, that was never a thing. And when I moved away, it was still not a thing. I moved away in 94 to Southern California. And when I moved back, it was a thing. And it was pretty weird, I got to say.
Megan, I still don't walk down that aisle at Walmart.
And I can even walk down that aisle, but I do kind of go like this,
Put
like
the blinders on. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I miss that. That I can do without. That I can do without. That I loved. I don't.
Well, there's a bunch of stuff that didn't exist when I was drinking now. A bunch of stuff.
Yeah, and like you said, I started because it was fun. Yeah. It was good to get a buzz on when you were 16, 18 in high school, and there were girls drinking, and it dropped down barriers, let's say.
Yeah.
Oh man, what is that? Okay, this thing just made a noise I don't know, so I'm gonna call somebody.
Right on.
It's probably a good idea.
Say, where's
They put my thing right next to me because they know I know how to use it. I've been up here so much, they just let me do my own buttons on my drips.
well, if
What were you
anybody's
saying?
qualified enough to do it.
Yeah.
What were you saying, Candy?
I said, where is yours, Steve, when we need to know what the beeping machine buttons mean?
Oh, he walked through here with a satchel on his shoulder, so he went to town for something. And he didn't want to interrupt the meeting to tell me what it was.
You know, that's funny, that satchel. That's what we would call a bag of dope. We call it a satchel.
Really?
Yeah.
That's weird to me.
And I never used, but I just knew within my group of friends that's what they called it. They didn't call it a dime bag, or they called it a dime satchel.
Interesting.
The best.
Yeah.
Is that just localized to your little group or your
Yeah,
area?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Because that's the first I've heard of that. Oh.
30 grand.
Ooh.
Well, I remember when I was in high school, they wouldn't give it to us. Like kids who wanted it had to find buyers, and you had to pay your buyer to go to the liquor store to get it for you. Nobody ever, but like the little town that my husband grew up in, and I mean it was a little town, he could walk to the store and buy cigarettes for his mom.
Yeah.
So he would mow yards and then save up money and go get cigarettes for his mom. And he smoked for like a year when he was 15, and then he was wrestling and it didn't benefit him.
Right.
So
Hello.
but you know, I mean, I just didn't grow up in a town like that. Like they would.
Yeah, it like bip, 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 and shut off. Here, I'm going to mute myself, guys. Hold on.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, guys, I'm kind of on. I don't know if you've noticed, but I'm kind of low energy today.
Yeah.
You're on low energy, and I'm in dumb bunny mode.
Are you okay? Is there a reason why you're low energy?
I hope not. I hope maybe it could be barometric pressure. We've got a storm coming in.
Yeah, so do we.
Yeah.
So it could be that.
Right. Well, I know. I seen Megan here. She had said a few interesting things.
Okay.
She had said, I used to find the smallest excuse or let myself get ticked off enough to make it okay to use anything. It was awful. And once I knew my problem, using began not to be pleasurable, just shame and disgust. And then she said it helped her socialize. And then alcohol near the end became something I turned to because of how easy it is to get. So
yeah,
I just wanted, she kind of said some very interesting things there.
Yeah.
Megan is my plethora of wisdom.
So I wanted to.
A real cool lady. By the way, she sends her love and good vibes, Steve. I forgot to tell you that at the top of the meeting.
Okay, thank you. Megan needs to be coming on here with us.
She's a little shy. I'm going to tell everybody that right now. I tried to get her on with just me.
Yeah.
And she was on for maybe 2 minutes.
I tried to get some dudes over from the boat, but it didn't happen.
Hey, we got Stephens over here.
I know, but I'm talking about,
Charlie was here
dudes
for a minute.
Dudes.
Yeah. Like on screen, this is like the old Sesame Street. Which one of these things just doesn't belong here?
Hey, does that mean it's my time to get kicked out? No, I'm kidding. Are we going to pull a Nevada on fire? Am I getting overboarded? I need to get my life preserver if I'm going to be overboarded.
Why would you be overboarded?
Ask Aunt Hada next time you see her in a chat why she decides to overboard Candy.
Oh, okay.
It's a
Yeah, she's
a
been
funny
dealing.
joke. We get everybody laughing at it.
Somebody's gaslighting her on another chat.
Oh. So you can't participate at all?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Participate where?
At the chat, in the chat?
Oh, I have been.
Okay.
That's the other thing I was gonna say is I'm done feeling like a piece of shit over that.
Yeah. Good.
And I'm not gonna divulge what we talked about, but Quiet Girl explained some very, very, very helpful things to me.
Okay.
And taking all that into consideration, I did nothing wrong.
Right
I did
on.
nothing wrong.
Well, and I can't see you doing anything wrong, so that's why it was kind
Yeah,
of
that's what I had
I
saying.
just
I told her
happened to
the
be I happened to be
verbatim
that
told her
person
that.
at Target this week. That's it.
yeah.
Next week she will start in on somebody else, is what I've been informed of.
Carol, will
Okay.
you put that message up by Megan?
Yes. Doing it now.
I think you would benefit more than the rest of us combined by being early in your recovery
And I told you
and being
we
being
want to
around
see.
positive people who know what you're going through, and there is not a person here that would drop what they're doing and stay on the phone with you for 4 hours if that's what you needed.
Whatever you need. Yeah. And Christy, same for you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
I was just gonna check on Christy. Are you doing okay? Isn't her thing coming up this weekend or soon or something like that? The music festival she was gonna go to.
Yeah, that's right. It does seem like that's coming up. So
Did you find someone?
Yeah. Personally, Megan and Christy, sometimes the message from those that are new in recovery are the ones that make the most impact.
Absolutely. That was
Because you
exactly my
guys
point.
are
right.
the ones
You know,
that were
I
close
mean,
to the fire.
I'm considered an old timer now, and there are days when I just don't really feel like I have that much to offer because
Exactly. We've forgotten what it's like to be there.
and I'm out of touch. I feel like I am anyway.
Right.
Do you mind saying where the discouragement was
She's
coming?
working up the courage, she said.
Oh, okay, discouraged from coming in
She's
here.
shy.
Got it. Okay, got it. Okay, now I'm tracking.
If you
Okay,
want to
so
text
you
with her,
just
you can talk
she
all
was
day.
in December, so you had plenty of time to get an ally to be there with you.
Yeah, it looks like she said she has.
Okay.
So that's good. That's good.
Okay. Something about
The most important person in the room of AA is the newcomer, Christy, is what they say.
Yeah. Yeah, because I will remember things when things come up. They're
Right.
not readily available in the files, until they're needed.
And
I couldn't
buried in the collective
begin of an
unconscious, and
AA
something
meeting
pulls it
if I
out.
tried. I
Huh?
could still run one of those in my sleep.
What's that?
An AA meeting. I said I couldn't forget any of that. The beginning part of an AA meeting if I tried.
Right on.
I only went to one, and it was enough for me.
I
Okay.
held a regional post for 4 years, which I stayed sober the whole time. Yes, I did. So I couldn't forget any of their preamble if I wanted to. I've tried. Sometimes it just comes up though.
I I still am wrestling a little bit with the am I or am I not, and you know, there's only one way to settle the question. You know,
Carol, that's a decision only you can make. Don't
You know-
let anybody try to talk you into, yes, you are, no, you aren't. That's something you have to decide for yourself.
Mhm.
And the only way that's going to be beneficial is to sit and look at it.
Yeah,
And it's going to suck.
yeah.
I'm not going to lie. It's going to fucking suck.
Okay.
But
And when you say look at it, what does that look like?
look at your reason for why you drink, when you drink, where you drink, how you drink. Do you need to drink? You know, those are the things you kind of look at.
Yeah, and that's the thing that I don't know. I needed to
Mhm.
drink at the
Hey,
time
As
because
the AA book says, if you're in doubt, go try some controlled drinking. Now, I'm not telling you to do that.
yeah,
I'm saying that's what the book of AA says. If
Yeah.
you are in doubt, go try some controlled drinking. I don't
It
suggest
says
that.
that.
For tomorrow night's meeting, I'm going to dig out my AA book. I'll read you that part.
okay.
I'm
You read
interested,
that, and then you learn about acceptance.
Mhm.
It's a real fun trip.
Right on.
Megan, good night.
Yeah.
So,
Again,
Yes, Steve is okay. Oh, the other Steve. Maybe you mean your Steve.
Steve, are you okay?
I'm going to trim like 2 branches.
Okay.
he was trimming branches?
Know if you're okay.
Oh, that was him over on L. Ron Hubbard Way, tripping the branches.
That's it.
Ah! Remember, did you see that part where they were cutting branches over
Oh,
where they
yeah,
were
I did see
protesting?
that. No, I'm using a cheap Harbor Freight tree trimmer that the motor broke, so I ordered a motor from a Ryobi trimmer, and then I dismantled it and put the core.
I was gonna say you didn't build it like MacGyver with a rubber band, some gum, and a.
He hasn't gotten that far yet, Steve.
That one, I loaned that one out, and it never got returned.
See?
Yeah, Steve MacGyver. That's
You know how people do with your good stuff.
yeah.
They return your book with 14 pages folded, you know, where they were going. But no, doing fine. I try to find little things that I can do each day or that I haven't done in maybe 2 months that I should have done, 3 weeks ago.
Are you going to be working on the ones on this side of the fence or inside the fence?
I'm going to make 2 cuts.
Okay.
So probably 5 or 10 minutes most.
I might want to go help him, guys. I think I need a little bit of outside activity.
Yeah, you need to
Little
work
fresh
off
air.
some. You need to work off some built up anxiety, adrenaline, and you need to, because after you really get a workout, you don't give a damn about anything.
Truth. That is so true.
And I got a lot of stuff for her to work out on.
Hey,
Cut her loose
Carol.
right now.
Yeah.
Carol, let me ask you this: on Sunday, do you want to have Steve on with Vicky?
Yeah.
Yeah, it just depends on if I'm able.
Okay.
Because I'm working Saturday night.
Oh, that's
I
right.
get back on noon Monday.
Okay.
I feel better today than I did yesterday, 7th.
Man, that's good.
Yeah, you did worry us.
Well, I'm going to be here about 2 more days, and
How's your blood oxygen and all that?
my blood ox is 97, 98.
That's good.
Yeah. I just felt like I had a little water around my pericardial sac, and I was having trouble breathing. And they gave me 1 Bumex, and I peed out like 4 pounds of water.
Woo!
Yeah.
Yeah, we had to really watch that with Mom, fluid building up around the heart.
Yeah.
My grandfather had that too.
Contraction permanently.
She did the first thing they did before the new pacemakers. They put stents in her kidney arteries
Mm-hmm.
so that her kidneys would be functioning maximum
Oh, I got you.
prior to her getting a improved pacemaker.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because basically what it does is it drains water from the water around your heart. You need a certain amount of water around your heart to protect it from getting beat up. But when
Yeah.
that becomes extraneous, it can affect your lungs and whatnot. And
Wow.
then when it really starts to come out, it will affect your kidneys.
yeah, for sure.
Wow. I didn't know that.
I think hers is they just wanted her kidneys to take everything they could filter from receiving less blood flow.
Yeah.
So they were.
Oh, she was in curves?
Yeah, she just kept on ticking despite all her problems.
Yeah.
Curves sounds like a cult.
Yeah.
Huh?
But no, she just had, I guess, some blockage in those arteries they wanted to make sure that they had covered before. So
10-4.
she never had any. Did she have stents in her heart arteries, Carol?
Mm-mm.
She never had to have heart artery stents.
No.
I have
Just
one.
kidneys. You have one?
I don't know if the pacemaker leads.
I have a cousin with about 16.
Would the pacemaker leads serve as sort of a pseudo stent?
No.
No.
The pacemaker leads calcified, and they were trying to use laser surgery to cut them out. And he was so sharp, he thought he was just going to do that, but he cut one of the leads. So he had to clean it up and put in new leads.
Yeah, I was going to say those needed to be replaced.
And he had to leave a piece of one in.
They were scar tissued in, though, is why they didn't remove them.
You remember when cell phones were real tiny and whoever had the smallest one was the coolest?
Oh yeah.
That's about how big my AICD is in my chest.
Woo.
And there are 2 wires that go right down into my heart, and those are what was popping me.
Ooh.
I say popping, that's a general euphemism for it.
Sure. It doesn't sound pleasant.
No, but you want to, do you guys feel like we've had a meeting?
I've had a meeting.
Everybody in the chat okay? Everybody good?
Get a thumbs up if everybody's okay.
Thanks, Steve-O. I appreciate you worrying about me. Don't worry, though. I mean, I've got plenty of support, and if something goes drastically wrong, I know where I'm going, so.
Well, awesome.
And I've already told everybody on the boat that I'd keep them updated if anything major happens.
Okay.
Yeah, yep. Tommy actually called me, and then I guess at the end of I haven't looked at it yet, but I guess at the end of the stream, he gave me a nice little plug.
Yes, he did.
Good. Right on.
He did. He was very kind.
We missed you.
Cosmic.
Wow.
What?
Christy's all good.
I'm watching the lights.
Yeah, they're bright.
They are.
Metal.
Lighting is tricky.
So it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
What are we doing, Carol?
We're closing the meeting with a moment of silence for those that are out there still suffering in their addiction, those who are struggling in their recovery, because that happens, that's real, and also those we've loved and lost, followed by the serenity prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change.
Accept things I cannot change.
Courage to change the things I can.
Courage to change the things I can.
And wisdom to know the difference.
The wisdom to know the difference.
Amen.
Hey, if you get really, really curious and just wonder, and you want to, just call me before you go out on the ledge, okay?
Okay, I can do that.
And I'm not gonna try to talk you back. I'll just try to understand why you're there.
Okay.
And I'll help anybody as much as I can.
Right on.
If nothing else, I listen.
My caveat is you have to be wigless when you do it.
I have to be.
I have to be wigless. That I can do.
All right. All right, guys. They're
Bye,
shifting.
everybody.
All right. Well, you guys. Bye.
You too.
Love
Good
you
night.
guys. Thank you so much. You're awesome.
All right.
Take care, Steve.
Peace, y'all.
Peace.